Here's a cool update on some fresh cuttings I planted. Stoked to see them flowering. They're just getting roots. I got some pollen that I'm gonna lay down on these. Yeah, these are all getting established. Pretty happy. Tons of flowers. It's amazing how many bees there are, but if I don't hand pollinate, they really just don't seem to set fruit. So I'll come along and I'll put some pollen on all these. A couple big old bees. And we'll cruise down here. See some of these freshly planted. Over here. Now I'm putting leaves on top of these to stop the sun from scorching the tips. And we can see the leaves have totally dried out, desiccated, and they're becoming mulch. And the tips are healthy and happy underneath with no sun damage. So they'll just break on through on their own. And over here I've got some fresher grafts planted. And these guys, the leaves have all busted off and come off, and it looks like happy, healthy growth. It looks like even this graft decided to flower. Let's take a peek. Ooh, it looks happy and healthy. Oh, and if we look close enough, I can actually see a pup coming off of that. So these are doing great. And so these will just slowly dry up, desiccate, and the graft will be right underneath it. Kind of a cool trick. Instead of using shade cloth or anything, you can just put a leaf over your cacti, keep them from getting scorched. Cool new area. And getting a row planted in here. Maybe we'll get a chance to see a couple scorched tips as an example. Yeah, so there's a little bit of sunburn on a freshly planted tip. Cacti that don't have their own root system can get sunburnt while they're freshly planted. It's a good example. Getting some flowers on a few of these. Looks like I gotta cut some pups off of that graft. There's always tons to do. Everything's looking happy and healthy in the summer sun. It's awfully dry. So it's about time to turn the irrigation back on. I guess spring is over. No more spring rains. And it's about time to trim back a couple more of these casters. I like to trim these before they set seed. We'll get some ripe fruit here. Harvest that before the ants come for it. And some tobacco. Looks like some ripe tobacco seeds here. Check these out. Yep. It's a cool wrap. Good one for cigar style wraps. And here's some fresh tobacco coming in next to the odole. It looks like we're doing good through the heat. Here's a cactus bug. He's kind of a bad guy. He can put some damage to that tip. Damaged tip on some cacti just leave a mark, and on others they can get weird and funky growth. Here's a good example of one that got damage, and it really didn't do too much weirdness. It just took in the damage. And here, these I can see a little bit of bleaching. So that's kind of a good example, this one too, of a bit much on the heat, bit much on the full sun, bit of bleaching. So we'll need to turn up the water, or at least turn the water on. We'll do a bit better. Itching for some moisture. These ones look awfully happy with no moisture. Just a tiny dried up leaf on there. And underneath all of this, we've got tons of TBM hidden away. You can see it a little bit better on that path. Hidden treasures. And I've actually been able to take quite a few cuttings off of these under here. Really nice row growing. And it's time to prune. It's always time to prune something. There's some seed setting on this guy. And I took cuttings off of this for the shop, and it's coming back threefold. Take one cutting off and 3 come back. Just a cool terminated tip. And up here I'm really excited. I got my Trichocereus spiniosus to not just flower but to produce fruit. So I'm excited to harvest that fruit. This is a fresh trail. This will get covered in ice plant. And this is getting planted out here. And there's another fresh area that's getting piled compost. And my Apuntia is flowering one at a time over here. It's kind of a fresh cutting. My buddy sent me that. And this is all getting grown in with a little bit of weeds. Here's the odole. This was a really good father. I use a lot of its pollen for the pollination of the kawia. So I'm pretty happy about that. It stuck well, so I'll have kawia times the Burgessii. Looking good. Ooh, a lot of blooms up here coming up. Here's the Cactus Kate 338. And the DeLorean. It's got some flower buds. And some fresh new pups. Healthy. And tons of flowers over here. Really just walking and checking on all my fresh areas that I took some fresh cuts, and I've planted some fresher things into these newly worked trails. Happy to see it doing well. This trail here is a brand new one. Chindo's keeping it safe for me. And I'll check in on a couple different fruiting things that I've pollinated over here. These are not quite right. This is big. It's hard to see how extremely large it is. Ooh, but this is a beautiful colored flower with a ripe fruit. And I actually need to cut some cuttings off of this for the shop. I'll come in and cut a couple that are kind of growing into each other, like this one here. Prune that up. Here's this cool reverse pineapple pup. The fruit's getting bigger. The pup's underneath there separately. It's doing great. Stoked to see that maturing. And this I can tell is a little bleached out. Since this a little bleached out, a little soft and squishy. Same with this, a little, ooh yeah, very soft. So more water. They're thirsty, so I'll have to turn that on. Getting some blooms here coming in. Very neat. Here's the spiral. I had to chop it. Someone messaged me for a custom order. He really wanted a piece of this spiral. It was hard to cut. Emotionally hard to cut. But it looks like it's healed well. And now that piece will put out some more pups and it'll give this stand a good shape. You can see I've cut it several times in different areas, hoping to produce kind of a nice looking stand. We'll see the trunk of this is full on spiraled under there, and it's definitely been shared. Same with this one up here. Definitely been cut into and shared. Sometimes these get a little too long and they can fall over. Trying to get it to bush out. So you can see the new pups coming off of that cut. Cool little check-in, walk around. Check out my messy garden before I get out here and clean it up. All right, cheers. I hope everyone has a great day.